Hi there, George Takei here, letting you know that you're watching As the Real Turns with Daniel Saletti. Oh my, is it good? Haha.
And welcome once again to As the Real Turns. I'm Dennis Saletti. This is your place for all things movie and television. And as always, we have a great thing to show you. It's called Entertainment Update. Let's get to it.
This is Drive-In Dave Lounder with your Entertainment Update. Today's update includes a movie, a TV show, and some anniversaries. Chip and Dale are back. The Chipmunks, I mean. Their hit 90s show, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, is becoming a motion picture. This film, with the title of the same name, will feature the characters going through CGI surgery and interacting with the real world. It will also feature cameos from other Disney characters, including the return of, get excited, Roger Rabbit. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, the movie, will premiere on Disney Plus on May 20th.
To many more seasons of the Rescue Rangers.
We were living the dream, dancing the Roger Rabbit with Roger Rabbit.
No one ever imagined it could all come crashing down. Torn by vanity.
You look different.
Hey, it's no secret I had the CGI surgery done. Rescue Rangers 2.0.
Any Star Trek Next Gen fans out there? Well, you're going to love this. Currently, Star Trek Picard is in its second season. We've seen the return of Guinan, Q, and others, but now the entire original cast is coming back. Even though Data and Riker have appeared, every key member will come back for Season 3. Will Wesley join? Will they all be in their own episode? We'll all have to find out when Season 3 premieres on Paramount Plus at some point.
Aren't we a little overdue for a good old-fashioned road trip?
I promise you will not be alone.
Ready? As ever.
2022 has some television anniversaries to celebrate. All the way back in January, the song and dance show Fame celebrated 40 years. At this point, they actually might live forever. And in February, David Letterman's Late Show also celebrated 40 years. How about that? Happy anniversary, Dave.
David Letterman!
This has been Drive-In Dave Lounder with your entertainment update. Please support your local drive-in theater. Now, back to you in the studio, Hollywood Daniel.
And thank you very much for that, Mr. Dave Loudner. Yes, Drive-In Dave, a new friend of mine and a great person who's helping me out with my films. Definitely support those drive-ins. They are pretty awesome. So, we have a really cool show for you today. It is something that, obviously, I bet you can tell has been around for quite a long time. It is a popular character. It is the one and only Batman.
I'm vengeance.
Yes, Batman. We are talking all things Batman today, and we're going to go through a lot of stuff today, but we're going to do it a little bit fast, so you may want to strap on, and I've got some really fun people to talk about it with. Right next to me, on my right, we have my good friend Justice. How you doing, Justice?
Batman, 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 Batman.
There you go. And to the right of me, to the left of me, we have my new friend Megan. How you doing, Megan?
Good, how are you?
Awesome. Next to her, we have Zach. Welcome, Zach.
Hello, thank you. Good to be here.
And welcome back, Vince.
Where's Rachel?
There you go. I love it. I love it. So yes, we're going to talk all things Batman today, guys, and we're going to kick it off right away with some early stuff that a lot of people don't really know about. We're going to be talking about the 1943 serials. So I think we have some intros going on for the serials here. Now, these came around. Now, a lot of people know Batman is a Warner Brothers and DC property, but these were originally done by Columbia. Yeah, Batman shifted between a lot of studios. And this one is basically the one people know a lot about. It starred Lewis Wilson as Batman. And as the titles roll here, we're going to get a glimpse of what early Batman looked like as well. So we'll start with you, Vince. As we watch the credits here, what are your thoughts on the early stages of Batman? And we'll get, like I said, a glimpse of him here as the credits roll.
Yeah, like you said, I didn't honestly know about this until recently. I actually found out about it through a Riff Tracks short. Like they were just riffing over it, and no, I didn't know it existed, and it's cool to see like even this early on that they were doing like Batman and live action rather.
Sure, yeah, and Zach, I mean, Batman's counterpart Superman has had serials as well, and they came later on in the years. But what are your thoughts on like this really strange, kind of depressed-looking Batman?
Well, I gotta say, this is probably the first time I've actually seen this for real, but I have actually had some sort of inkling that there was something predating the classic 1950s Batman with the man we all know and love. But this has got to be something kind of very serious, very toned into a very, I don't know what to say here.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Very pulpy.
And Megan, we also got a glimpse of the boy wonder there, Robin. And I always said that in these, he always looked like he was wearing a Halloween mask. And so what do you think of those costumes and like just the way they were acting? And
yeah, it definitely does look like he's wearing a Halloween costume. I think it's pretty good acting for the time. And I honestly didn't know that there was Batman predating the 60s.
I know, right? Yeah.
Color.
Exactly. And Justice, any quick thoughts for you, sir?
I think for the time being, it was pretty decent, given the limitations of the special effects. And the costume is a little iffy compared to like modern ones that we have. Usually you don't see a lot of Batman costumes that look like they were made by real people with the weird floppy cowl thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But, something obviously worked, and this is obviously kind of looking at the comics of the day. The comics always countered what was being seen on screen, and, they didn't really have an authentic Batmobile and stuff like that, but something must have worked because they continued on, and we flash forward to 1949 now with the serial Batman and Robin, not to be confused with the later on the road movie. We have different actors now. We have Robert Lowry as Batman and John Duncan as Robin. Not much has changed, though, within regards to the costumes here. And they still have just basically a run-of-the-mill car. And Robin, man, he's still wearing that Halloween mask. Quick thoughts, because I do want to move on from this. But as we watch it, Justice, any quick thoughts from you, sir?
I think it's definitely especially with the different use of editing, most likely. This most likely came after Citizen Kane. It's very unique, especially the way that they're presenting it. Definitely, it's still, once again, it's very pulpy, given the era.
Exactly. And Megan, quick thoughts for you. I'm surrounded by boys here. Sorry.
It is what it is.
Honestly, I think that, because again, I'm comparing this to Batman 60s, 70s.
Sure.
And I think it looks a lot more like there's a lot more action and less like pow, pow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it definitely looks a lot more interesting than...
Absolutely, yeah. Zach?
It kind of starts to develop more into the film noir.
Yes.
A little bit more. It sort of gets that detective thriller aspect to it that I personally enjoy.
Yeah, the man is a detective, let's be honest here.
Right.
Vince, quick thoughts for you, sir.
Kind of like what you were saying. When I look at it, it looks kind of like it plays like a mobster film, or kind of like a lot of classic car chases and stuff like that. It definitely is it's from its time. It definitely shows.
Absolutely.
But in a good way.
Yeah, and so, I do recommend these. Keep in mind that Batman and Robin will not be battling the Joker or any villains like that. They're actually dealing with villains of the time. And Superman did this too. At the time, especially back in 1943, we were in World War II. So he was battling, the evil Japanese and stuff like that, because of war times. But 1949 did the same thing, battling mobsters and stuff like that. So if you get a chance, definitely look them up. They should be on the interweb, and then you can even find them on DVD as well. So that's pretty cool.
There was actually a very interesting note. There was one supervillain that he was fighting during the time, well before the Joker, one that they don't talk about much anymore, Hugo Strange.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, who was played more like the Moriarty to Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, no, and he did exist for sure. So I know Megan's brought this up a few times, so let's jump right into it. After the 40s, he still remained in comics, but there weren't too many interpretations of Batman. And as the years progressed, so did the comics, and people were realizing kind of a slightly humorous look into the character. He was smiling more, not as gruff and tough as he was and then will become. And no series showed that more than the 1960s Batman TV show. Yes, the ever-popular Batman TV show from 1966, starring Adam West and Burt Ward. This is one of my all-time favorite shows. It's an all-time favorite for many people, with a catchy-as-heck theme song and a whole bunch of fun and pals and excitement and crazy traps. Since you brought it up so much, Megan, we'll start with you as the famous intro rolls here. Why did you love this show so much?
I think it's because it brought more of a lighter tone to Batman than it does modern times or than it did back in the 40s. It's a lot more colorful and not as depressing. Not to say that Batman these days isn't great, but I think it's a lot more exciting than it was back then.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we have the end credits here rolling as well, and we had always a super special guest villain. So we had Cesar Romero as the Joker, Burgess Meredith, 3 different ladies as Catwoman, and the list went on and on and on. And the fun thing is that they even made a motion picture after the first season wrapped. And I think we have the trailer here for that, and this will give you a glimpse of what the hilarity antics of Batman was all about. But Vince, people think this is mainly like a parody of Batman, and sure it was, but it also did reflect the comics of the time. So do you think it's just something to be laughed at, or do you think that this is a key part of Batman history?
I don't think it's something to be laughed at. It's definitely a key part of history. Like it's kind of just like coming right from the pages of the comics, like just like the campiness. It translates pretty well, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, Justice, everything was, again, slightly made as a joke here. Not only did we have a beautiful Batmobile, one of my favorite cars ever, but everything was labeled in the show. Bat computer, bat poles, even a little sign at the end of a helicopter ladder, bat ladder. I mean, were they maybe going a little too far, or was this just enough, do you think?
I think like what everyone else said, it was definitely a product of the time, especially after, to get a little bit into comic history, after the Comic Code's authority was kind of ham-fisted into everything else. They kind of took away a lot of like the grit and like noir elements of comics because they were trying to push that comics were more for kids. Sure. Yeah, so I think that's what happened.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing a few of the villains here. Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. Cesar Romero, I want to quickly point out. He had this mustache that he refused to shave, and so they just we'll put some paint over it, for the clown. And we had this for the movie. We had Lee Merriweather as Catwoman there, and then in the series she was played by Julie Newmar and Eartha Kitt, who had that perfect purr sound. It was awesome. I loved it.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glee. I'm Batman. Obviously, sir.
Zach, they only lasted 3 seasons, and from that time on, poor Adam West and Burt Ward, they were typecast. They rarely couldn't get any roles, but they were still celebrated entirely. It didn't matter how dark Batman got. People always went back to good old Adam West. Do you think that's a good thing?
I think that is a good thing because Adam West and Burt Ward, they sort of had a family-friendly aspect to Batman that definitely needed to happen to sort of get a very cherishable motif going that the world really could kind of bring with them into modern ages.
Sure, yeah. And, this was also the first show to actually introduce Barbara Gordon as Batgirl with the lovely Yvonne Craig, I might add.
Batgirl, 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 Batgirl. Where do you come from? Where do you go? What is your scene, baby? We just gotta know. Batgirl, 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 Batgirl. Are you a chick who fell in from outer space? Or are you real with a tender, warm embrace? Yeah, whose baby are you? Batgirl, 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 Batgirl. Yeah, whose baby are you?
Oh yeah. This was an idea from one of the producers saying, hey, let's give Commissioner Gordon a daughter and have her be this mysterious Batgirl. So that's really, really cool, I think. After the series, like I said, Adam West kind of left a mark. Batman was kind of made to be laughed at times, and they would come back in like kind of a ridiculous superhero special called Legends of the Superheroes, and then they would also reprise their roles of Batman and Robin in voice form in a show called The New Adventures of Batman. And it was a cartoon show, and there were a lot of cartoon shows at the time, Super Friends that included Batman and stuff like that. So he was around, but he didn't have his own show for a long time, or any on-screen appearances. And these continued, and even as the comics darkened, Adam West was still there. And Superman was actually kind of leading the pack here for a while because we got the Christopher Reeve movie and so stuff like that. And then even Wonder Woman came into the 70s with the series there. But a lot of things changed come in 1989. We got a man named Tim Burton who says, hey, I have an idea for a movie, and I want to call it Batman. And so this is what we got. We got Batman 1989, and this was a big change for the character. Not only do we have another studio change, because Adam West was done by 20th Century Fox, but now we have Warner Brothers. And most people thought about this movie and saw it and looked who was starring in it and said, oh no, we're getting Adam West again, because we have Jack Nicholson as the Joker and we have Michael Keaton as Batman, who's mostly like a slightly lighthearted comedic character. But that's not what Tim Burton wanted. If you know Tim Burton, he's going to want serious and dark and twisted. And you know what? That's what we got with this movie. We got some darkness, we got some twisted stuff, and man, did they do something good. This was a fantastic movie. Everyone played their roles perfectly, and it started a quadrilogy of films. So, Zach, as we see the trailer here for 89 Batman, what are your thoughts on it? Is it really that good?
This was my first Batman movie, so I'm a little bit biased, but yes, this was a very good Batman movie. I loved everything from it. Like as a kid, seeing Jack Nicholson and knowing he was also in The Shining, I sort of had that, whoa, wait a minute, hang on, something's going on here. And seeing his role played so well in this movie and seeing Michael Keaton do his job as Batman, I fell in love, and from there on, I was hooked.
Absolutely. And Justice, I mean, we also have, I also want to add that we have Kim Basinger rounding out the cast, who does a great job as Vicky Vale, Bruce Wayne's girlfriend. One of them, yeah. Now, people still had a taste of Adam West in their mouth. Do you think they were ready for Michael Keaton and darkness Tim Burton?
I think it was more like one of those situations where it kind of happened, and it was more like a luck of the draw thing. Like, funny thing, even Tim Burton doesn't know how it became so successful. It just sort of happened.
Yeah. I mean, I really do think it was a bold move, and it worked. I mean, Batman is dark in this movie, but he's still throwing a quip here or there, and this is where, like, one of the times where we finally get a deeper voice for the character. He's doing his deeper voice just to confuse people, but it's like, pretty sure you're still Bruce Wayne.
Couldn't hear the train till it was 2 feet from. You know what happened to this guy, Jack? Wow. Made mistakes. And then he had us.
Lights out! Now you want to get nuts! Come on! Let's get nuts.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it. Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Excuse me. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Kill you.
You idiot! You made me. Remember? You dropped me into that vat of chemicals. That wasn't easy to get over. And don't think that I didn't try.
I know you did.
You killed my parents. What? Huh. What are you talking about? Huh? I made you. You made me first. Hey, bad brain. I mean, I was a kid.
He just tried to do an impersonation of someone with laryngitis. And
There you go, yeah. Megan, this is a good film. And do you think we'll talk about the sequels, but do you think it just should have remained just Batman and move on?
You know, I don't think so. I think that I haven't seen the '89 movie. It is true. I haven't.
It's in the watch
I
list.
didn't even know that Tim Burton directed the movie. But to find out that Tim Burton set the mood for Batman for like a long time afterwards, that's something.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. But I definitely think that the coming Batman movies afterwards were definitely something that should have happened.
Something different, yeah.
Yeah, something different.
I don't know if I'm completely correct with that, but I think Tim Burton more just kind of helped solidify it. I think it really began with like Frank Miller and his rendition of Batman with both The Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One.
Sure, yeah. And Vince, very quick thoughts on Batman.
Like you guys said before, no, literally, it just Tim Burton, just they let him do what he does best with like Dark and Twisted, and it kind of just stuck.
Yeah.
It was the right place, right time, you're in right mood and everything that people were looking for, and it worked.
Don't kill me, man!
I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
I've got 2 words that I want you all to remember. They're very important. And if I leave you with anything, I'm going to leave you with these 2 words. And those 2 words are, I'm Batman.
Warner Brothers said, "Oh, Tim, you did a great job. Let's see if we can have lightning strike twice." And so Tim said, "Well, great, but I want more control." And if you give Tim Burton more control, weird things are bound to happen.
It gets darker.
It gets darker. We got 1992's Batman Returns. Now, I've always said that these movies have cast villains perfectly. Jack Nicholson's Joker was on par perfectly. And in this movie, we have 2 villains. We have the Penguin, played by Danny DeVito, excellent choice, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, another excellent choice. As the trailer rolls here, let's do some quick thoughts just to keep in time. So, Vince, I mean, like I said, this got a bit of a darker tone. Do you think that was necessary? And do you think Burton was maybe going overboard?
I don't think he was going overboard. I mean, it depends on what you're viewing as. If you're viewing it as just like a movie, like just for anyone, it was too much. Like for kids, like I think they had a McDonald's deal.
Yeah, the McDonald's deal.
They lost it because of how dark it was after. But just as for like a fans of comics, fans of superheroes, or just like an adult movie kind of thing, I don't know. I think it was right on track. Like it was still. You expected this from Burton.
And props to Michelle Pfeiffer for being in that literally vacuum-sealed suit, because she could not breathe in that thing.
Yeah.
Zach.
To this day, still the best Catwoman, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Zach, Batman Returns.
Yeah. I also like this movie a lot. The Penguin did scare me when I watched it as a kid, but I still was entranced in it. I just kept it Batman, watching Keaton do his thing, and I gotta say, something that I noticed just now. Stitches are a theme with Tim Burton. And I saw the stitches with Catwoman. I'm like, oh, I know that. I've seen that.
Also, the Keaton Mobile, his Batmobile is an awesome car. I love it.
Oh, beautiful.
I'd argue the best Batmobile.
Arguably.
So slick.
Megan, Batman Returns.
Also haven't seen it, but it looks very good. I don't have much Batman experience as far as movies go. I think I've only seen like maybe a couple, but honestly,
we'll have to fix that.
It shall.
Honestly, I do think that it looks darker than Batman from '89.
Yeah.
But I think it would definitely be something to watch.
Oh yeah. Justice, very quick thoughts on Returns? Fair enough. Yeah.
You said short words.
I did. No, I mean, I liked it very much. It is very dark, but I mean, it's again, Keaton still throws a quip here or there. I mean, eat floor, good fiber. That's funny.
Even though he's straight up a murderer, he still throws like quips like.
Fair enough.
Yeah, go ahead and hit me.
I saw her first. Gotta fly.
I haven't been fed all day.
Eat floor. High fiber.
Hey, stud. I thought we had something together.
We do. Selina, please.
Bruce, I would love to live with you in your castle. Forever, just like in a fairy tale. I just couldn't live with myself. So don't pretend this is a happy ending.
Selina. Selina Kyle. You're fired. And Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed up like Batman?
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What?
Fair enough.
Batman doesn't
Also,
kill
music by Danny
people.
Elfman. On point. Really,
Beautiful.
Really well done. So, people were not very happy with Batman Returns because of the darkness in it. And so they said, Burton, we're going to still keep you on, but we're going to keep you on as producer. And I said, okay, who's directing it? We have a guy named Joel Schumacher. Okay. So they went in a slightly different direction come 1995 with Batman Forever. Now, Keaton does not like doing sequels, and so we were very very happy to have him back for Batman Returns. Come Batman Forever, we get a recast. We get famous jerk Val Kilmer as Batman. Now, a lot of people give him some flack for it, and people give this movie a lot of flack as well. But I don't think he did too bad in this movie. It is basically a overhaul because we have, brighter colors and Gotham. We have a new Batmobile, which makes sense because the other one blew up. And we have another great casting of villains. Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Spot on with Frank Gorshin from Adam West, who did a great job as that. Really crazy. Now, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. Now, for people that know me, when people get recast, I have an issue with it. Especially if sometimes it's a slight change. I mean, we had Harvey Dent, who becomes Two-Face, played by Billy D. Williams in '89. Now, I would not have cast him personally. But here's my question. People were up in arms when he became became Two-Face, and yet we can recast Moneypenny as Naomi Harris and James Bond, and we don't have a problem with that. That's my confusion. But we also have the introduction of Robin in this quadrilogy now, played by Chris O'Donnell, and this time Bruce's love is played by Nicole Kidman, who plays a psychiatrist, very attractive one at that. So, Zach, we'll start with you first. Batman Forever, your thoughts on that? Yeah, look at that smile from Val.
That face.
That's a great smile.
Yeah, that smile, it threw me off every time I watched it. But seeing the Riddler played by Jim Carrey, and I loved Jim Carrey throughout my life, and so seeing him in Batman, I'm playing that again.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. And but seeing the Riddler, it added more flavor because I think at that point when I saw that movie, I didn't know the Riddler existed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I saw, wait, there's a guy involved with like riddles?
Yeah.
Mystery, thought process? I was excited.
Okay. Vince, quick thoughts on Batman Forever.
So honestly, I don't think it was a complete overhaul. I think some people don't like this movie, but I honestly think it's better than people give it flack for. It's a perfect marrying between like the more campiness like that they used to have with like Adam West, and then the more dark, serious tone with Tim Burton.
Sure.
And then, I don't know. I don't think it's bad. I think it worked. The studio wanted to lighten it up a little bit, but not alienate the Tim Burton audience. And
Yeah.
it worked.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. In fact, I just rewatched it recently, and I said it's still good. Justice, your quick thoughts on Batman Forever?
I think it did a pretty good job blending with the vibe of the Tim Burton Batman movies. Yeah, it's definitely like the vibe definitely seems a little bit different. Where Tim Burton's Batman was more gothic, Schumacher's is a little more like punky in a way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, punky. I like
makes
that.
sense.
I like that.
Yeah.
There's a good balance to it.
You called me here for this. The bat signal is not a beeper.
Well, I wish I could say that my interest in you was purely professional.
You're trying to get under my cape, Doctor?
A girl can't live by psychoses alone.
It's the car, right? Chicks love the car.
It works.
There were some additions. Yeah, there were some additions put into this movie that would come back in the next one. But you, Megan, peeked up at when I mentioned the Riddler. Are you a fan of the Riddler? Or?
Not the Riddler in general, but Jim Carrey playing the Riddler.
Jim Carrey. Okay.
That piqued my interest.
Yeah, and he does do his shtick. If you know his shtick, going absolutely.
Was that over the top? I can never tell.
Nutball crazy, but
the hand movements and
if you know the stories, Tommy Lee Jones did actually confront Jim Carrey saying "I hate you" in all your movies. There was some disagreements going on around on this set, but
go ahead. You can say you're a genius.
Batman Forever is a good movie. I think it does really, really well, and I do think it's a worthy addition to it. Now,
to me, you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Now, won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? From a rose on the green. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the green.
People liked Batman Forever. It worked. So Schumacher think, oh, this is good. Warner Brothers, this is good.
And Schumacher's a great director.
He
too,
is.
Yeah.
I love The Lost Boys.
Fan of the opera.
The Lost Boys, I'm a fan of like a good amount of his work too, yeah.
Unfortunately, though, people were not happy with his last installment, and many people were not. This is 1997's Batman and Robin. So, again, I say, all four of these films cast villains perfectly. The reason I say that is because we have one Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger here, playing one Mr. Freeze. Now, he does throw a lot of ice puns at you throughout the movie. But with that aside, I think he was a really good choice for it. He was a really excellent job in that. And then also we have Poison Ivy here, played by Uma Thurman, who does, put that seductive persona on, which is really well done. Then we get to Batman, played here by pretty boy George Clooney. Now, here's my thing about George Clooney. He did an excellent Bruce Wayne. His Batman needs a little bit of work. And then we have Chris O'Donnell coming back as Robin. The other thing about this movie is that we finally get Batgirl on the big screen. However, it's not Barbara Gordon, and she doesn't have red hair. No, this is Barbara Wilson, who turns out to be Alfred, the butler's niece, and is played by blonde-haired Alicia Silverstone. Okay, so I always thought this movie is the matchup. I call this the mashup between Adam West and Tim Burton because they did have a lot of fun. There were a lot of jokes, there were a lot of laugh lines, and it just. Let's just go into the quick thoughts here. Megan, you're a fan of Adam West here, and so as we watch the trailer here, do you think, from what I've said and from what you're seeing here, you think this is like a salute to Adam West or an insult to him and from the other movies you've seen, or what?
Just a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, it looks kind of a little bit cheesy.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Zach?
Although Poison Ivy, though, beautiful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Zach, Batman and Robin?
I liked seeing Arnold as Mr. Freeze. I liked, I'll say it, Poison Ivy. It made me love nature a little bit more. But it was goofy. It was goofy, and I think they were trying to get that goofiness instilled back into a series that had started out dark.
Yeah.
So they're basically following that sort of.
Sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
$2 million.
You don't have it. $3 million.
I'll borrow it from you. $4 million.
$5 million.
That's a utility belt, not a money belt. $6 million.
$7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
Sorry, my vines have a crush on you.
And you are?
Batgirl.
That's not awfully PC. What about bad person or bad woman?
Bruce, it's me, Barbara.
Can you feel it coming? The icy cold of space. Ah, cool party. Always winterize your pipes. Winter has come at last.
Vince, Batman and Robin?
It's the goofiness. I feel like with the previous movie, like they needed to blend a little bit of goofiness into the dark tone, and it was perfect. This brings it too much.
Yeah.
I definitely think it deserves more flack than the previous movie did. It did a lot wrong, but it didn't do. It's not completely bad. Like you were saying, I do agree with all villains being cast perfectly. Like Arnold as Mr. Freeze. It's not Arnold. It's not the costume. It's not even
it's his dialogue.
A little bit the jokes, but the problem is they gave him bad direction.
Oh yeah.
It's,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justice, quick thoughts?
That was the part that I was going to say. I personally do not like this movie. I was not a big fan of Mr. Freeze in this movie, and I think it was because of that. The only thing I like was that they took the storyline from Batman, the animated series, and implemented it into this, because even Schumacher knew that was a really good idea.
Yeah, and I mean, that was one of the other key things about this movie. Schumacher needed to sell toys. That was one of the other things about this movie. Now, if you're watching this quadrilogy, I don't mind it. I actually kind of like this movie because of the campiness and stuff like that.
Well, I did one film, Batman and Robin, which was yes. Thank you. Which was a disaster. But other than that, there's no reason for me to have ever done anything to go to Comic-Con.
But didn't you apologize to the crowd at Comic-Con for Batman and Robin?
I always apologize for Batman. Let me just say that I actually thought I destroyed the franchise until they brought it back. Somebody else brought it back years later and changed it. But, I thought at the time this was going to be a very good career move. It wasn't.
But you talk about how the suit was the enemy.
Well, the suit's brutal. At the time, particularly, it weighed 60 pounds, and it takes, you have to... there was a director named Joel Schumacher, who's a very funny man, very tall, very sort of eccentric, and he would direct with a speaker and with a microphone and a speaker. Usually directors will come up and say, "Hey," he'll be like, "Okay," and you'd hear this, giant booming voice. And I bolted into this suit. I can't move. And he would literally go, and he would direct you as if you would have some emotional scene. He would go, "Okay, people, all right, George, your parents are dead. You have nothing to live for. Action." You walk in and go, I'm Batman. And
And yeah, maybe some things are over-exaggerated, if you know what I mean, within regards. But
better as a trilogy, but I'm so glad that we got all of it.
absolutely,
we got it.
I still think it's kind of cool though that we could have gotten Patrick Stewart as Mr. Freeze. That's kind of cool.
Freezes.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
That would have been a great choice.
Yeah.
Funny that you bring up animated series though, because that is our next topic. The ever popular Batman the Animated Series, which started in between these movies, and this is regarded as not only one of the best Batman shows, but one of the best shows. Period. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it is a huge series, and I know it's sometimes directed at kids, but quick thoughts around here. Is this really a kid's show, or is it more like a everybody show?
I think it's more like an everybody show.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. For the whole family, literally.
100%. Yeah, no, it's a very wide audience, and yeah, it's not just a kids show.
There's definitely a good blend of like childhood wonder and like the fun of like Batman with also like the dark themes that were brought in with like the new comics, Tim Burton movie, and all around it's a good segue for a show if you're coming from a kid to an adult to watch that.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, I think I think Kevin Conroy, great Batman voice, really does a fantastic job.
You are not my father. I am not a disgrace. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Amazing.
One of the best Jokers, I might add, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself.
Oh, yeah.
Love him.
Fellow I am today.
And, this show, it says it lasted 3 seasons, but I always say 4 because there is the new Batman Adventures, which was changed its animation style to go along with the Superman animated series at the time, because this was early to mid-90s. And yeah, no, they really explored a lot of different villains. They really got into nice animation in the early days for sure. And yeah, they even had a motion picture called The Mask of the Phantasm, which is regarded as one of the best Batman films of all time. And so I really, really think that's cool stuff. One of the sequels, though, to this series that really did give an impact on people was, let's see if we can move Batman all the way to the future in a little thing called Batman Beyond. Oh, we got some fans of Batman Beyond here.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so as the intro rolls, I mean, we have basically a futuristic Batman show here, and Bruce Wayne has moved on to as a mentor, sort of, to a new Batman played by a character named Terry McGinnis. He has become the new Batman, and he's got a new nice suit here. Zach, why do you love Batman Beyond?
All right, I'm going to be straightforward here. Anytime I could catch this show, I would. But I couldn't all the time. So anytime I could, I would, and I was in love with the animation, the design of the costume, the idea that Bruce Wayne is no longer Batman, but he's passed that helm on, and the idea of like what is Batman in the future, where there's a lot of things going on socially. So it explores a lot of deep and dark ideas about civilization, and a lot of that doesn't really go noticed, I feel.
Yeah. Justice, Batman Beyond?
I think it's a fantastic show, and it definitely keeps in with the same vibe as the original series, including with like some of the older villains being tied in with some of the newer villains, and like the redoing of some. I like the Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
What they did in Batman Beyond.
Yeah, the Mr. Freeze is really cool, and yeah, they did bring back a lot of villains, especially in their little direct-to-DVD movie, Return of the Joker, bringing back Mark Hamill. Vince, Batman Beyond, you like this show?
I could talk about this show for like a long time.
We
but,
do
like,
not have
no.
time, though.
Of course not. No. But no, it is. It's beautiful. Like everything about it, like you were saying, like the setting, the costume, like everything is sleek and like cyberpunk, punk. It's
Sure.
a lot of dark themes. Like even like not just dark, but like it's more so like it's even darker, we'll say, than at some points than the animated series.
Yeah. And Megan, have you watched this show, and would you watch this show?
I would watch it. I have never watched the show. I honestly didn't even know that it existed, but it looks very cool.
Yeah.
We have hours of catch up to attend to.
Well,
It looks
this
very futuristic too.
This just proves my point. If Bruce Wayne can give it over to Terry McGinnis to be Batman, that proves that anybody can be Batman, including me. That was your cue to applaud, but there we go.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
I was gonna say Batwoman or Batgirl.
But anyway, this brings us up into the 2000s. Now, the 2000s, people were asking for more Batman movie. People still had the latest Batman film and a bad taste in their mouth from the latest Batman film, Batman and Robin. So Warner Brothers decided we got to do the dreaded word reboot. And so they hired a guy named Christopher Nolan. Now, Christopher Nolan has done a lot of movies like Inception and other twisted things. But they brought him on to direct a movie called Batman Begins. Now, Batman Begins starts a trilogy called the Dark Knight Trilogy. And the man we have starring as Batman is Christian Bale, who is laughably cast as Batman because of his, as Vincent pointed out in the beginning, his deep voice.
Sounds like he has lung cancer.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say that they did bring a villain that we have not seen on screen before, which is the Scarecrow. So really, really cool stuff there.
Two villains, actually.
Two villains, yeah. Ra's al Ghul, Liam Neeson here. So I'll be honest here. Not my favorite movie, not my favorite trilogy. I'm sorry, but I know these are widely regarded films. So let's do a quick roundtable thing, starting with you, Zach. Batman Begins.
It's been a very long time since I saw this one, so I'm trying to reach deep for some memories that I had with this, and I can't say I do. But I gotta say, seeing Christian Bale, I love his acting, I love his work. So seeing him as Batman, that definitely, it fit. He fits the sort of suit and tie motif he had with American Psycho, and bringing that into more prim and proper, but with a Batman twist. I love it.
Yeah, also really cool, starting a trend there, having British people play American heroes. Thumbs up, Christian. Anyway, Megan, Batman Begins. We also have some familiar faces here I want to quickly point out. Morgan Freeman and Michael Caine. But Batman Begins.
So with this trilogy, I feel like I don't remember which movie I saw in it, but this is the cast that I'm most familiar with. Alfred, who plays Alfred.
Michael
Christian
Caine.
Bale, yeah, and it has more of a serious kind of tone to it,
Sure.
rather than the other ones.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think I preferred this over the other ones just because this is what I've seen and I'm familiar with. So
Fair enough. Vincent, Batman Begins.
So not a big fan at all of the Batman, but like you were saying, great great Bruce Wayne.
There you go.
They were definitely trying to, with the whole reboot thing, they were trying to be different, and they were really, I feel like they were trying to pull further from the comics with like Ra's al Ghul and like Scarecrow.
Sure.
A little bit further like for the villains they had before.
Yeah.
What the hell are you? I'm Batman. Nice coat. Thanks.
And just as quick thoughts on Batman Begins.
I think the best way I could describe it is almost like a white collar Batman.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. I like that. Yeah, and a lot of things, especially with the old quadrilogy, people make fun of Batman's not really doing a lot of detective work, but white collar's good. I like that.
Cobb, It was Cobb. Look, we need to go. We need to tell him.
Rest. Gordon knows. Gotham needs you.
And you serve Gotham?
I serve justice. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. Trouble?
Nothing I can't handle.
He knows who was at the docks.
He won't talk.
He'll talk to me. Who was with Falcone at the docks?
I don't know, I swear to God.
Swear to me.
What in God's name are you?
I'm Batman. Who was with Falcone at the docks? Joe murdered my parents, and they deserve...
Don't pretend you wanted to do this for them.
Happy birthday, Bruce.
Oh, Mr. Earl. Good of you to come.
Not everybody thought you'd make it this far.
Sorry to disappoint. Who was with Falcone at the docks?
I don't know, I swear to God.
Swear to me!
So now, people thought this was really good, and then at the end of the movie, they did like the worst tease they could ever think of, showing one little tiny card, and it's like, yeah, we know it's coming. 2008, The Dark Knight, widely regarded as the best Batman film of all time. And basically, we bring back the Joker, now played by Heath Ledger, who also is regarded as one of the, if not the best Joker of all time. Now again, I feel the same way as I do about Batman Begins. Too dark for me. I'm not a fan necessarily. Give me Jack Nicholson any day. Am I going overboard? Justice.
Everyone loves and hates this movie. I personally love it because this Joker fits the universe that Christopher Nolan made. That's what I can say about this Joker.
That's a fair point, actually. I agree with that. Megan, The Dark Knight. Is it too dark? Is the night too dark?
Honestly, I'm going to have to agree with you on having it be too dark. I would rather Jack Nicholson than this. But it is aesthetically pleasing. But at the same time, yeah, it is too dark for me, honestly.
I'm sorry, Zach. I love her now. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Zach, Dark Knight.
So, it's such a... All right, so yes, there is such a thing as too dark, right? However, I will say, this movie made me imagine Batman in a whole new light. I think that it's probably more fitting to have a more grim, a more dirty sort of Batman, and let's face it, Heath Ledger as Joker pulled it all together, and then you've got, the blending of Two-Face coming into the fray.
Yep.
Like watching the movie for the first time, I didn't know what was going to happen, and every turn and twist, it captured me more and more.
Yeah. No, I mean, a twisted character kind of played by a twisted actor. I mean, unfortunate things happened to him after this movie. So, and there again, you mentioned Two-Face and Harvey Dent. There's a race change. People were fine with it. I don't get it. Vince, Dark Knight.
Honestly, the trilogy, it's the peak of the three. It's the best of the three. I mean, just the fact that you named your entire trilogy after your second movie, and it's hard to strike gold with a sequel, but I feel like they did, honestly.
Oh yeah, and that's a fair point for a lot of franchises. Striking gold for a sequel is rarely ever to happen, and this is definitely bigger than Batman Begins.
It was also like a very interesting way that they titled this, because they easily could have just called this Batman 2 or something, but no, they called it The Dark Knight, which is, I don't know, like a lot of people sometimes classify Batman as The Dark Knight, but I think it was really in this movie where a lot of them just realized, wait a minute, he's the dark. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Subvert expectations.
I like that actually. Yeah.
I can speak. You learned a word.
But they thought, well, can lightning strike thrice? So 2012, The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I actually want to jump on a point that you were saying, Justice, because we had the first one called Batman Begins. The second one was called The Dark Knight. And I felt like they kind of got lazy and just called it The Dark Knight Rises. Why didn't we call it another Batman name? The Caped Crusader. Why didn't we just call it that? But whatever. This one we have another villain who we have seen on screen thanks to Batman and Robin, but it's done very differently. We have Bane. We have Bane now, the super strong person who likes to tackle Batman, played by Tom Hardy. And the problem is with his interpretation of Bane is that he has that mask over his face that you can see. Exactly. We're all gonna do Bane now. Exactly.
Hey, pass the Pringles can.
Yeah.
Guy who breathes through a crab.
We also have Anne Hathaway though as Catwoman now, so that's another Catwoman role here. Now, Megan, this was the final chapter in the Dark Knight trilogy. Was it a satisfying ending, you think?
You know, it's actually been a long time since I've seen this one, so I can't quite say how the ending was, in my opinion.
That's fair.
But I do believe that Anne Hathaway made a very great Catwoman. And Bane's voice to me sounds pretty hilarious.
Kind of belongs in something like, Batman and Robin, maybe.
Yeah.
Vince, Dark Knight Rises, satisfying ending?
Well, I mean, I remember when I saw this in theaters, like, it's good, but, like, I don't feel, like, fully satisfied with it. I don't know. Like, I feel like it was a drop in quality from The Dark Knight, and like you were saying, even with the title, I also felt like it was lazy.
A little bit
I
lazy.
felt like a few things in this movie were just lazy is a good way to put it. But no, it did wrap it up somewhat nicely.
Yeah. Zach, Dark Knight Rises?
Not my favorite Batman.
Fair enough. Good enough for me.
Not my favorite.
What the? How did you know? You stole this weapon from my company. Did you think I wouldn't figure out how to turn it off? You will never learn. Hang on just 1 second, I'm in the middle of a call. I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, did you find the off switch, Mr. Wayne?
I'm Batman.
So I just lifted the entire island out of the ocean and I was about to throw it in outer space.
Stop talking! It's my turn now.
Well, it is about time. Wait, is that your new stage voice?
Yeah? What about it?
Well, I mean, are you like gargling marbles or something? I could barely understand it. You wanna know how I got these scars? From Batman? From Batman.
How are you even speaking so clearly? It makes no sense. I should be like, I'm
Hey, Miss Kyle. You wanna know my secret identity?
Is it Bruce Wayne?
How does everybody know my... I mean... maybe.
And please leave us a comment so that we can know
Can't
what you...
understand you!
What's that?
Move the microphone away from your face!
Move the microphone closer to my face? Is that what you said? Good night, everybody.
Trilogy, definitely not my favorite, but it definitely left an impact. During the time, though, these movies were made, we got a series that is kind of forgotten, but a favorite of mine called The Batman, not to be confused with Robert Pattinson. And as the credits roll here, let's do a quick roundtable here. Justice, The Batman?
I liked it. The intro was very nice. I like the first one, not the sequel one.
Oh, see, I'm a sequel guy. Vince, The Batman? We were talking about this before, actually.
Yeah, no, this one has a place in in my memories and stuff like that too. Love the Joker in it.
Oh yeah,
Crazy Joker is great.
Crazy Joker, yeah, and actually something interesting. This show only featured Batgirl as the first sidekick because at the time Teen Titans on and they couldn't use Robin, so that's kind of cool. Zach, The Batman.
It incorporates a little bit of that Tim Burton twist here and there with the character designs, and I like that for sure. But if it was between this and the animated series, I might take the animated series.
For sure. Megan?
I love the animation in it. I think it would be definitely worth the watch. And it is, sorry.
No.
I don't really know what to say about it because I've never seen it, but it looks very cool.
Yeah, fair enough. I agree. Definitely give it a watch. I think it is worth it. Another weird animated show was one called Batman the Brave and the Bold. This one was more of a comedic take, and it was shown in more recent years. And I think it was kind of like if you took the Batman or animated series and made it slightly more funny. Zach, quick thoughts on Brave and Bold?
I watched this with my younger brother, and this was something that brought him into Batman, and I could sort of like show him along that sort of route. And I mean, of course, by that age, he was still kind of growing, getting his idea of the cinema, but
understood. Yeah,
it was all right.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, they definitely give an old school feel as well. Any quick thoughts for the rest of you guys, or?
They definitely took a lot from like the 50s era, and they definitely included like a bunch of superheroes that I didn't know exist. I had no idea who Plastic Man was until this show came out.
Fair enough. Any quick thoughts from you?
It's a return to like the Super Friends kind of era. It's
Super Friends is
definitely
good.
more so for kids.
With still punching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I also agree with Justice that it does look like it has more of like a 50s kind of vibe to it. It's more colorful. And it's, yeah.
And the music, good, yeah. I don't want to actually spend too much time on this next quick topic because he was only like a side character in this, but the DCEU then started in recent years, and we didn't get Batman for a while, but we did get a return for him in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Dawn of Justice. Now, a lot of people give this movie flack and other Batman appearances. Yeah, Affleck. In it. Affleck. People give it flack because of Ben Affleck's portrayal, who is now Batman now. Is it really that bad? Really quickly, Zach?
It felt flat. It felt like they took a concept that in the comics was definitely very engaging, but I think applying it to the cinema, it kind of fell a little short.
That's understandable. Justice, this is named after you. Is Ben Affleck's portrayal in this and other DCEUs that bad?
Not really. They basically just took The Dark Knight Returns and blended it with Man of Steel.
Okay, that works. Megan?
It looks interesting. Definitely.
Sounds like you haven't seen it. I would skip it if I were you.
Sorry.
actually walked out on this.
You're not missing too much.
You're not missing too much, yeah. Vince, Ben Affleck as Batman?
Not terrible, not great. He needed more time to be developed as a character. Just time they didn't give him.
That's
he
fair.
He needed his own movie.
I did have to dock him 10 points, however, because he did not say the words, "I'm Batman." So, sorry, Ben. But hope you still come back. I'm still looking forward to more portrayals.
Back in the Flash movie coming soon.
There you go. And now we come to our last Batman installment for now. And this one is big, and it's definitely not my favorite. It's Robert Pattinson in The Batman. Now we're talking about the movie. This movie was huge. Everybody loved it, except me, because I hated it, actually.
Batman versus the Zodiac Killer.
It really got...
It really is.
Yeah.
This movie made Christian Bale look comedic. That's how dark this movie is. So, okay, we have a Riddler based, again, yeah, like you said, on the Zodiac Killer.
It's a serial killer, yeah.
We have Jeffrey Wright, different choice, as Commissioner Gordon. And yes, again, like Christian Bale, an Englishman as Batman, Mr. Robert Pattinson, Twilight Man himself. Okay, I think a lot of people here liked this movie. Zach, why did this movie work out so well?
I could see it play out in 3 acts, and the way that they had the characters set up, each character had motivations, and you could see them play out naturally. And the way that they did the Riddler in this was very appealing, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it definitely shows with something that could be said for a lot of modern times.
That's fair. Justice, for me, when I watch this, I think they took a lot of inspiration from the Arkham video games. That's what I saw a lot of. Do you think they got inspiration to that, or they just said we want to go full-fledged dark?
I was mainly expecting Daniel Day-Lewis to come out and beat the Riddler in the head with a bowling pin.
Okay. Okay.
There's a reference for you.
I like yeah. Vince, The Batman?
Something I've been wanting to say, like, the whole show since we've been talking about Tim. Yeah, they said that Tim Burton was dark, and then, it really makes you think, we was nothing to complain about back then. They went, it's not rated R, but they went, they really pushed the boundaries of what they can do.
Oh, yeah.
What they could do.
Oh, yeah. Now, Megan, I think you and I are in agreement about this movie, because you didn't like this one either.
I hated it. It was too dark for me. I had to walk out.
Thank you.
It did not make me feel good watching it.
And despite Christian Bale's gravelly voice, he still threw a joke here and there, and I only counted maybe like 1.5 jokes from Robert Pattinson here. Not my favorite movie, not my favorite Batman, but, this is what we have right now, so, I mean...
Sprung a leak, and the animals
we're headed in a good direction. Like this is not bad. This is a good step.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Batman, twisting them all. Always on point when the commissioner call. Fit the fly when the bat signal lit the sky. Move meticulous, stay in the shadow, mystify. King Crusaders got the regulators. Erasing the haters, making it safer for the neighbors. Cause Joker's still up to his same old tricks. And Catwoman still just the same old chick. Trying to use me, confuse me. She trying to seduce me. I'm looking for the Batmobile and doing a Batusi. She wanna tease my brain like she did Bruce Wayne, but I'm hip to a scheme, so I'ma play the game. They call us dynamic duo, you know we can't be beat. Got heat in my utility belt, them out the streets, crush sinister schemes, diabolical plans, holy schizophrenia. We got the world in our hands, it is.
It's the name that makes a villain's blood run cold.
Batman.
Batman. Holy tribute episode, Goldbergs.
What on earth are you two doing?
There's Big Brother trouble brewing.
This family needs an enema.
How will our hero get out of this one?
I'm doing it.
Where's that?
Long gone.
New Goldbergs. Same Goldbergs time, same Goldbergs channel.
Get off the side of the house.
On ABC.
Well, we have had a lot of fun about talking a lot of Batman. We squeezed a lot in there, and I know Matt is sweating in the booth there, but we're going to get you out of here, buddy.
You got things to do. We'll get you there.
I quickly do want to do a quick Who Are You? So you guys all know how this works. Basically, I roll a clip, and you have to tell me who it is. So here's the clip. Oh, Val. Welcome back, Val. You know,
you're smiling nervous.
all the other Batman smiled, too. I want to say that. But
Keaton has a pretty awkward smile.
he does.
Too,
He
yeah.
does.
This is all wrong. I don't know what it is. But when I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother. I guess that doesn't make any sense, does it?
So we'll quickly go down the line real quick. Vince, who do you think that clip is not Val Kilmer?
Probably might have to cut this out, but we're talking about the thing from earlier?
Yes,
or?
the Who Are You?
Yeah, so I think for that Who Are You clip, it's probably Marty McFly's mom.
Okay. Zach?
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, okay.
I have no idea.
So Marilyn Monroe came to mind for some reason.
Marilyn Monroe, okay. Justice?
I may be wrong, but I think it might be from American Pie.
American Pie, okay. So we have American Pie, Mila Kunis, Marilyn Monroe, and Back to the Future, Lorraine Baines. Answer! And that is correct. It is Lorraine Baines. It is Marty McFly's mother, Leah Thompson from Back to the Future. So well done, Vince. You get 10,000 points.
When I kiss
I'm going to give 5,000 to everyone else just for coming on. And
Almost out of the red.
there you
my
go.
brother.
And we have had so much fun
Doesn't
talking
make
about
any sense,
Batman.
does
It has been so cool. And we're going to have a lot more fun. I hope you all come back. And until then, my name is Daniel Soletti. This has been As the Real Turns. That is a wrap.
Where is he? What's happening?
Because I'm Batman.